everyone, SoranotRoxas here. I can honestly say that 2014 is almost over, which means that this is possibly going to be the last review of the year. Well, at least ending 2014. I still have to do my top 5 worst movies and my top 5 best movies of 2014. But unfortunately, I haven't finished seeing a lot of movies like Guardians of the Galaxy. And I know I said I was going to finish it, but I keep pushing it off, man. Things like Kingdom Hearts comes out, and then I'm supposed to get some big Christmas present somehow tomorrow. I'm going to make a video about that so you guys will get a chance to see what that is. And I'm really excited for it, and of course I will make a video showing that. What I've been recently uploading is just Kingdom Hearts stuff, Kingdom Hearts this, Kingdom Hearts that, everywhere. I normally upload once a week, but I've just been continuously uploading a number of Kingdom Hearts battles. That's because I'm trying to run through the game as fast as I can so I can finally get a review out there for the game. And once I beat Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, I will, of course, breeze through the last part and then make a review, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's not what this video is about. This is not for an update or anything. This is for me talking about the interview movie. Now, after discussing it with a friend of mine, I said, I don't know whether I should review this movie because of the controversy behind it and everything, but I didn't make the movie, you know? I'm just stating my opinion on the movie. If you don't agree, that's fine. If you do agree, that's fine. It doesn't matter. The point is that everybody has their opinion of such a thing, and my opinion is as such with the interview. If you guys don't know what it's about, here's some clips.
Take him out.
You want us to kill the leader of North Korea?
Did you see that? Well, if you still don't know where it's about, then go Google it. But basically, it's about two guys who work for a sort of like TMZ/Fox News thing. And they report on celebrities and their mishaps, like something about Eminem being gay, or Rob Lowe actually being bald and the hair that he wears on the top of his head is fake, you know, stupid junk like that. So TMZ. There are two characters, one played by one named Dave, who is the host of the show, who's played by James Franco, and I don't know, I haven't made a plan of the Apes review or anything like that, but I'm making a reference to it now. James Franco is one of my favorite actors of the recent age. I've liked him ever since the early 2000s, so I was actually happy to see him in, he hasn't stopped making movies, but it's nice to see him do more stuff, and even comedic stuff. Seth Rogen is also in the movie, who I find funny as well. He plays his producer named Aaron, and what they're trying to do is go over to North Korea to interview Kim Jong-un, who is a fan of their TV series. Hold on one second, got the phone right. I do apologize for that, considering that that phone call was actually not for me. Okay, so, yeah, where was I? Yeah, so Seth Rogen and James Franco. So they play these two characters who go over to interview, blah, blah, blah. I just said that, Kim Jong-un. And that's where the controversy for the movie comes in. Sony has been hesitant to show this movie, even saying so far that they canceled the showings for it, until the president and a number of other people who are either in politics or just activists, excuse me, for the most part, went against Sony's rule to just cancel the movie altogether due to just a form of cyber terrorism. They said they was going to blow up theaters and a whole bunch of other stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's not like you shouldn't take these matters seriously, but it's the point of the whole, well, figure of speech, First Amendment right, and everything like that. You know, if you really want to go deep into the politics, you already know all about that stuff. And that's fine. They do make a valuable point. You shouldn't let another country dictate what you do. Even we still don't know hands down where the sort of the cyber terrorists came from. It's been reports that it came from Thailand mostly, but still people are blaming North Korea the same way while North Korea is blaming us for their power outages over there in their country. But whatever. That's the political side, which I normally don't get into politics on this channel because I like to know what the hell I'm talking about before I do so. But with the interview, this has to be mentioned for this movie because it's most likely this movie is going to go down in history not because it's good, but because of what it caused, the controversy behind it. But while Sony decided to release it here on YouTube, as well as in certain theaters, certain selected theaters. At the time that I saw the movie, it had even made over 1 million. Now I think it made over 5 million out of its 44 million budget. And for the most part, you can see that as a bomb, so to speak. But look at the history that this movie went through in order for it to even be released. That's a lot to go through. With that being said, how is the movie? Well, I finally sat down and I finally saw it actually a few days ago. I was hesitant to release this review as well because there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of reviews on this, and I normally like to do my own review, my own interpretation of it before I look at anybody else's opinion on the movie. But I did see one review, and it turns out that the response was a little bit positive there, even if certain critics didn't like it. To be honest, this movie isn't getting that many good reviews, and for the most part from audiences, it's either really good or just mediocre. So it's mixed reviews there as well. How do I feel about the movie? Well, I already told you what it's about, and that's basically it. Interviewing Kim Jong-un, and then it's their just little misadventures in North Korea from there. I think the beginning of it is kind of nice. I would say this, it is a well three-act structure. It is definitely a three-act structure there. This is a movie that has a beginning, middle, and an end. You know, it's not, and you know, it gives pretty good closure for the ending part. It's not something that just like drops halfway and doesn't know where to go or anything like that. No, they know specifically what they wanted to do and how they wanted to make it. It's directed pretty well. Seth Rogen does a pretty good job. I know him, and he has another guy working with him. They don't do so bad with making movies. I think, even though I personally didn't like it as a person, I think that it was directed well. These are actually some pretty good shots that they're getting. There's even a part with a character could be sitting in a chair like I am, but with their back turned, and while music is playing, and in slow motion they're smoking or something like that. It looks pretty cool. And then you have different high angle shots, you got low angle shots and stuff like that. Even shots from the back, like I said, seem fine. People walking forward seems is fine for the most part. Different shots, there's a lot of violence in this movie, especially towards the end. It's just like violence out of the ass. And excuse my language here, violence out of the ass. And it's genuinely shot well. I can actually see what's going on. Unlike other action films where I'm just like, you know, like Transformers that came out this year. So much shit just going on. I have no idea what the fuck's happening. But here, I know who's getting shot. I know who got killed. That's so-and-so that died. This is so-and-so that died. So a lot of it, for the movie, it's based just upon the comedy and how well it's got, and how well the comedy gets across, and whether it can keep you interested for the most part. With that being said, I didn't find it all that funny. That's possibly my biggest reason. Yes, it's a satire of a dictator or a president or of another country. Like, we haven't seen that before. I bet they even do movies about the U.S. presidents being made fun of as some sort of satire. I bet they do that all the time. But of course, we as Americans, we won't hear about it. And we did this before with, like, how many movies did they have of Hitler? How many movies? We did it with Saddam Hussein. We did it with Osama. South Park did it with Osama bin Laden. You know, this isn't the first time we've done this sort of, dictator or leader of another country. his image is even more distorted than it already is, for the media and stuff like that. And I'm not saying these are good guys for the most part. These aren't good guys. Hitler wasn't a nice person. So when he got his head blown off in the movie, I cheered. If Hitler died, I was happy. In something like Inglourious Bastards, even though I didn't care for that movie too much. But when Hitler was killed off, it was fine. That didn't bother me. I was happy. And times, of course, would have possibly been different if he got killed off that early too. But anyway, the point is that this is something that has been going on for a while. This satire of the dictator or leader of another country being made fun of in a movie, and as well as us, I'm sure it's done with the same way with Americans looking really stupid. What I don't care about here in this movie is that it's not funny to me. It's hit and miss, and it's mostly miss for the most part. And honestly, where the miss part comes in at is in the middle of the movie. I think after the part where, and people who've seen the movie would know this, after the part, there's a part with Seth Rogen is about to be attacked by a tiger, and the tiger gets hit in the back of the head with a device that they need to for Kim Jong-un to in order to assassinate him. The device comes out the sky after being launched by the CIA or FBI or whatever division that is, and most likely CIA, and the device hits the tiger in the back of the head at the same time he's about to pounce on Seth Rogen, and it's hilarious, actually. Anytime before there, I had some pretty good laughs, and then after that point, it wasn't boring. It just wasn't funny. I didn't find certain stuff funny as I was supposed to. When the movie got serious, like there are a couple of parts when it gets serious, like when James Franco character who has made friends with Kim Jong-un finds out that maybe he is crazy, and maybe he doesn't mind blowing up other people's countries and whatnot, just to prove a point. When he finds that out, he's honestly heartbroken, and it's kind of sad for the most part. Kim Jong-un's past is kind of sad for the most part, when it's played up a little bit seriously. And then they ruined it with something like a poop joke or an over-the-top performance. And mostly the over-the-top performance comes from James Franco, who I said once again is a brilliant actor. I love his acting. You did a movie where I can't remember the name of it now, and I will put a poster of it on the screen just in case I end up Googling this after I make the video. You played a character who had his arm stuck underneath a rock in a canyon for, 3 days or so, or a week, or however long he was there. And just off his performance alone, you had to go by for that movie. Because it was just one guy in a canyon with his arm stuck. And what he had to do what he had to sacrifice in order to save himself. It's a great movie. It's a brilliant movie. Actually, go watch that. That is a great movie that shows off James Franco's acting ability. And here, he is annoying as fuck. He is over the top. He's over the top. He's annoying. He never shuts up. It's so aggravating, but yeah, at the same time, I couldn't look away. It's kind of like how the Hangover movies are in that regard, and I only seen 2 of them, and I'll be damned if I consider the sequel a good movie. I like the first Hangover movie. That's fine. I do. I like the first Hangover movie. I found it funny from beginning to end, and I can go on and talk about that in a separate review if I have to. Of course, everyone who's already seen it saw it, but it does the same thing as that, where it has like an annoying character, but everyone else was mostly mostly funny subtle-wise. Kind of like how Seth Rogen always is. And there's a balance there. Seth Rogen is sort of like the down-to-earth guy, and James Franco's like the over-the-top guy. And yes, they do balance themselves out for the most part, but if it if it was just James Franco who was just by himself doing this entire movie of him just being that guy, it would annoy the hell out of me. And for the most part, in the movie, when they do split up, you know, Seth Rogen's doing stuff by himself, and James Franco's doing stuff by himself, it's fine. But that's because James is working off of somebody else, whether James is working off Kim Jong-un, whether he's working off Seth Rogen. And Seth Rogen working off of anybody else is fine for the most part, although the movie seems kind of normal when he's doing it because he's not as over the top as James Franco is, which makes him not as entertaining to watch, in my personal opinion. This movie, for what it was in the beginning, had some smart jokes, and it definitely does have some smart undertones, and there's some meaning that is definitely trying to get out there, even if it is insulting to this world leader, to this leader of North Korea. Even if it is insulting to him, there are some things that they're trying to say about either him and his country. There is even a part towards the end when they finally do have the interview with Kim Jong-un, and James Franco is asking him these questions about, you know, hey, your country is starving and whatnot. What do you have to say to that? And Kim Jong-un would say, I can't remember the actor's name. Is it Randall Dahl or something like that? I apologize, I can't remember his name. But Kim Jong-un would say something like, what about the sanctions that America put on North Korea? That was actually a pretty smart conversation. Why couldn't the whole movie be like that? This could have been a movie that could have been taken seriously like that, just with sprinkled some comedy thrown in. That would have been fine. But they went on full comedy and just a slight bit of drama, which I would have liked it more drama and just a slight bit of comedy. And it's not funny to me. I just don't find the humor of sticking something up watching Seth Rogen stick something up his ass, or do Kim Jong-un pee or poop, which they bring up like 3 or 4 times in this movie. Like, come on, guys. It wasn't funny the first fucking time. Stop bringing it up. But I don't want to turn this into a rant. You know, this is my last movie to do of the year. And this is going to end up on one of those lists, one of those top 5 lists, and I'm not going to, and you should already tell from this review which list this movie's going to end up on, whether top 5 best or worst, and I'm not going to go into as much detail there as I'm going into it now. So that's why I did decide to come out and do this review. And for the most part, I didn't find it as entertaining as some people. I did not really like this movie. I don't recommend it. I don't think it's that good. If you're looking for a movie to make like a satire of sort of how the world is now, or how the world was for that specific moment in time with this specific other world leader, watch Team America. Yeah, Team America does America, fuck yeah, you know, it does it better than this movie does. Its jokes are funnier. It's better written. I can't say better directed because they are puppets for the most part. Like, honestly, how wrong can you go there? But it's more entertaining than this. And that was done with fucking puppets for the most part. This is just, God, it's funny. As soon as they get to North Korea, it just gets dumb. It just gets really stupid. There's even a part when they're biting off with Seth Rogen and this very passionate news crew member are biting off each other's fingers, and they're going back and forth. And he's like, "Yeah, how do you like that?" And he bites off his other finger, and I'm just like, "This is dumb. This is stupid." And I was chuckling, but I was like, you know, like, this is stupid. Why am I watching this? And I am so glad I was able to watch a friend's copy, because if I had to pay for this movie, I would be fucking pissed off. I will say this though, if it sounds a little biased, I didn't think much of. Let me just check the time here. Yeah, going on for 16 minutes. I didn't think much of the trailer in the first place. When I seen it, I was just like, well, it just seems like it's possibly just going to be an average comedy movie for the most part. And looking at it critically, it is. It's just an average comedy movie. I may personally, as a person, don't like the movie. And as a critic, I can say, well, it's mostly average, and I can think of better movies that have done the same thing and have done it better. Like I said, Team America. I recommend staying at home and watching that than staying at home watching The Interview. The Interview does not impress with me. It doesn't shine out of all satires, you know. It isn't like the holy grail of comedy, political satire movies. No, it's just pretty average for the most part, and I didn't really care for it. Well, alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching this review. I will see you in my next top 5. I'd like you guys take care. See ya.